What's up, guys? This is Dave, and it is January 30th of 2026. And today I'm going to talk about how to get the best value for your collectibles, even if you don't necessarily know exactly what they're worth. And I saw a great example of this today on eBay. I'm going to share it with you now and why this example is so powerful. So to start with, let's take a look at this eBay listing that I came across today. So I come across this eBay listing and it just says 1980s and 90s Denver Nuggets vintage basketball game ticket stubs, Michael Jordan. Okay. Now, this seller has no idea what he has, but I am always on the prowl for like really great tickets and ticket stubs, right? And so when I saw this, I thought to myself, well, let's take a deeper look. And if we take a deeper look, here's what we find. There we go. The first ticket that I see is like literally the first ticket that I'm looking for. And this ticket is right here. It's November 23rd of 1991. And this is a really famous clip of Michael Jordan where he says he hits an eyes closed free throw. Nuggets. Boom. This is like one of the most, famous clips of all time is Michael Jordan sort of hitting this here shot. And let's check it out here. So Jordan sinks the first free throw, and then he has words with Dikembe Mutombo over here. And Jordan says, "Hey Mutombo, this one's for you, baby." And then he closes his eyes, hits the free throw, swish. It's like one of the most epic plays in Jordan's career, one of the highlights of his career, and a video that people love watching. Okay, but that's this ticket right here, November 23rd of 1991. Now, here's what I really like about what this seller did. This seller, he doesn't necessarily know what he has, right? Like if he knew what he had, he would write it like Michael Jordan eyes closed free throw, but he doesn't know what he has. But what he did that was so brilliant was that he's just started off at a 99-cent bid. And as long as he puts the right keywords, Michael Jordan, Chicago Bulls, and tickets, it's going to attract the right set of buyers, like me, to come and look at this and then save it. And we will be able to recognize what it is, and we will make sure that when it comes down to the final bidding, that we're going to make sure that this thing sells for what it's really worth. Now, if this seller would have done something different, like if he would have just said, here's this listing and it's buy it now at $49.99. This is actually like the most common sort of mistake that I see people do with their collections. So if you don't know what your collection is worth, you can easily just list it on eBay. And the keys to that are that you have to make sure that whatever you have has great keywords for searchability, just like this person did, right? This person did a great job, and they put Michael Jordan's name, they put Denver Nuggets, Michael Jordan, Chicago Bulls, or actually they didn't put Bulls, but they put ticket stubs. All of these things are super important because they're going to help people like me find your items. And the more people like me that find your items, the more bidders you will have on your items and the higher your items will sell for. Okay, so, especially with ticket stubs, people will reach out and they'll say, I've got hundreds of ticket stubs and I don't necessarily want to take the time to research each individual one because it will literally take me days, weeks, months. It'd take forever to be able to do this. If you have a dozen ticket stubs, that's easy to research. But if you're somebody who, I got contacted today by a gentleman who says he's got 900 ticket stubs, and it would just take copious amounts of time to go through that. So the next best thing to doing that research, because take myself back, if you do that research, you can reveal that your tickets are connected to important moments in history, and when you do that, it'll make people want to own them more and drive up demand and drive up the price, right? So like you'll get a better price for it if you can connect them to historic events. But the trade-off is your time, because that research is going to take a tremendous amount of time. And it is honestly not that easy to do, meaning like there's a lot of really confusing things in research. So it's like you think it'll be straightforward until you start to do it. And then you realize that it is not as straightforward as you thought. And there's a lot that you don't know. And of course, you don't know that till you get into it. So back to what this seller is doing that I really like. The seller doesn't need to know exactly what he has. All he needs to do is start it at 99 cents, make sure that the title will grab and appeal to the people just like me who want to own this thing, and then we will make sure that it sells for what it's worth. Now, this guy has this thing listed here for less than a few hours. Actually, yeah, it's less than 4 hours. He's already got 7 followers. So I'm definitely not the only one who's been able to see this. Now let's take a deeper look inside of what this seller's got going on. So I'm going to click on seller's other items. Here, yes, there it is. Cool. So we're going into seller's other items. And now what I noticed about this, and the reason that I'm pulling it up is because you'll see that the seller has a bunch of tickets. Now, if I look through this person's collection, these people are, I guess they do have a lot of tickets, but they're putting them all at 99 cents. So they're just pretty much auctioning all their stuff off at 99 cents. Man, what a crazy collection of tickets, man. There's a lot of stuff here. So let's take a look at a few of here that I really like and a few things that I don't necessarily like. I'm going to talk about this one here first. This is one that I absolutely like because a ticket stub collector can see exactly what is here. They can look up each and every one of these games. They can know the value of what you have, and then they can bid appropriately. But people pay less for mystery, or sorry, people pay less for uncertainty. Okay. So here there is great certainty about what you've got. And so you will be sure to get a good fair market value. But let's go back to something that has uncertainty from the same seller, which is this one here. This is actually like a really great collection. It probably has like really great stuff in here. But this is a Milwaukee Bucks lot. But look at all of these tickets that are covered up. So we really have no idea what's here. And because we have no idea what's here, any person who's buying this is going to play it conservatively. Now, you'll see this one actually has 9 followers already, and the reason is because everybody's hunting early MJ tickets. I mean, that's what my guess is. But also, there's like stuff from the 70s in here. And look at that, an unused ticket there. But my point is that the more uncertainty that a buyer feels when they're getting involved in an auction, the more conservative they will be with the price that they're paying, right? So again, think about yourself when you're buying a car. If there's uncertainty in any way about the condition or the reliability of the vehicle, you will be more conservative with what you would be willing to pay for that. So your job as a seller, if you've got a ticket stub collection or a collection of baseball cards and you don't know their value, and this could be stamps or video games, whatever your collectible is, okay? If you don't know what its value is, that's okay. This is not the best way to do it. Like, I like that he started it off as a low auction, but really one of the better examples of what to do is what he's doing with his sports cards. So let's go back to Al. So look, I mean, he's just clear pictures of the sports card itself. Oh, dang, he sold. I'm like, did that just end? Oh, yeah, because his stuff is ending at auction right now. So here, you can see that this stuff is like, it's a clear photo. It's a great description that tells you exactly what the item is, or to the best ability. So if you've got, and it starts at 99 cents. So if you've got items that you don't know what they are because they're baseball cards or they're stamps or they're coins or whatever the case is, the best bet is to just take individual pictures of them and then auction them off at a 99-cent bid. And as long as you have a title that is filled with keywords that people who would want to buy this thing would search for it, right? Then your item's going to be seen by these people. And fair market and capitalism at its best, folks, they will find these things and then will make sure that you get fair market value for it, or a lot closer than you would if you put it at a buy it now. But the cardinal mistake that people make is that they use buy it now prices. I would really not recommend anybody use buy it now prices unless they actually know kind of the fair market value of their items, because that is how people undersell stuff. And that is, so you're at a risk of underselling something because, you know, if you list something for 20 bucks and it's worth 200, it's going to sell right away. Also, if you have something that's worth $20 and you list it for 200, it's never going to sell, right? So like, that's the issue with the buy it now prices on eBay, is that it's never really going to get you the truest value. But also, like, some people are really nervous about true value. And like, so for example, like I've got a buddy who has some sports cards that have gone down in value, and he has them listed at an outrageous price on eBay that they're never going to sell at that. And he just simply doesn't care because he'd rather hold on to them than to be able to sell them for their fair market value today and feel like he took a big loss on them. You know, but if you're somebody, again, who's like, you know, I inherited a collection, or I've just had these things and they had no cost to me and I'm just going to auction them off. You don't have to know what they are. You don't have to waste hours of research. However, you will maximize what you get if you do that research. But again, it's a cost because, you know, it's hours and hours of play. So the best bet, you can auction them off in groups, but take clear pictures of each and every one. Let's show another example before we wrap up. Like, this is excellent. If you're going to do it, you're going to want to do it just like this. This is great because you can see what the buyer can see what each individual item is, right? So there's certainty there, and the buyer will be more willing to bid higher if there's a greater degree of certainty about what they're buying. You can do groups, you can do individuals. It doesn't matter what you do. What you don't want to do though is hide items that could potentially make somebody want to bid more on your items. So anyway, just a little example that I saw today on eBay of I really liked what the seller is doing. He definitely has a ticket that I'm interested in, and I'm going to be bidding on it later. And he's going to probably end up getting like really close to fair market value for it, even if he didn't write the specific title of the event. So that's my advice to everybody. I hope you're doing well. If you guys have any questions at all about ticket collecting, flipping collectibles, or anything like that, or even the value of something that you have, or authenticating items, anything like that, I'm happy to help. You guys just send me a message. As always, stay positive and love your life. Peace.